Appreciate everyone being here today. Happy Veterans Day, right? Today. So I want to start by wishing Coach Fern and the basketball team tonight good luck. And Hornets Nest, right? Big game tonight. And according to talking with Joe yesterday in the radio show, there's a lot of things happening on campus this week. I think men's soccer is going on as well, and some things towards the end of the week. But it's obviously a big time on campus this week. Ending up with Saturday with our last home game for our seniors. I think we have 26 seniors that are gonna get recognized with a handful of support staff. So it's going to be a big week for Charlotte Athletics and our campus, and ending up with the home game on Saturday. Looking forward to it for Niner Nation. A couple comments from the game last week. Obviously, we made it very difficult on ourselves in the first quarter, and very disappointing. Probably the most disappointed I've been all year. It was similar start to the South Florida. That's what was in my mind. I thought we had made some strides from that game, trying to get off to an earlier start. Again, made it very difficult on ourselves. We knew it was going to be difficult, offensively moving the ball on the front seven in the run game, but some of the penalties on defense that we had in the first quarter were, got us behind the eight ball. And then we had the pick six. It's probably as tough as first quarter that I've been through, to be honest with you, me personally. But I stick to my comment on maybe a question that I had, that the guys, again, they battled and they inspired me to got me out of my funk, because I was pacing pretty hard and was getting after it pretty good on the coaches, to be honest with you, just with our start. And our play got me back, got me out of the ditch and got me back on track. So again, I tip my hat to Coach Harrell and his staff and what they got done, and so we have made some corrections, and we're back at it this week. Looking forward again to these 26 seniors. They're going to get recognized and putting our best foot forward. With that, I will open it up for questions.
Coach, it's obviously, I guess, less than a year with some of these guys, but we just talked about some of those seniors, guys like Sean Brown, even guys like Henry Rutledge that are dealing with injuries, but kind of stayed around and made a difference on this team.
Absolutely. I'd like to have a list of all 26 and give you a 5-minute spiel on each one of them. Okay, I certainly could do it. But I may have mentioned this on the radio show last night that, those guys could have left, and coaching change, the seniors, most of them, this is their third head coach here at Charlotte, and they chose to be a part of this, and it is much appreciated from our staff. I told the team at the hotel prior to head into the stadium, hey, we got 20 days. 20 days. Got nothing left in the tank. Turn off the noise. We're going to have a winning season inside what we're going through these next 20 days. I mean, it's turn off. We've gone through so many things as a football team, the injuries and self-doubt, and I said, hey, turn it off. It's about us right now. 20 days, everything you got, and for the seniors, and had them stand up. And maybe that's why I was so distraught in the first quarter. Because maybe I put too much emotion into it. Because I'm on record as saying you don't win rivalry games with emotion. You do it with execution. And so I'll have to revisit that, really, to be honest with you, moving forward. But on those seniors, the guys that chose to come back, I'm thankful, really am. And we have a couple of guys that we brought in that had 1 year left. Braden Mullen, he came in with 1 year left. Give me a second. We have a couple more. I can't. I'm went blank, but Jalor is one. He's got had 1 year eligibility left. Chose to join us. And they're part of those 26 guys. So we're thankful, and I want to these last 3 games, this last home game, to be a positive experience for those guys.
For the offense specifically, you guys been behind the 8 ball at times, but have gotten the passing game going decently, especially some chunk plays, things like that. Talk about kind of the development there with Grayson kind of finding his stride and that connection with Javen.
I thought, I can't. I think his grade may not have been the highest one he's had all year because he had a pick six, but it was a very, very tough environment to play quarterback. No running game, you know, at all. So he had to show some enormous toughness. We had the start that we had, and then we have pick six, all in the first quarter, and we can't run the ball. It'd been easy for him to have gone in the tank, and he did not, and battled and fought and hit some really nice deep balls. The throw to Javen, and the catch from Javen, big time, explosive, and so it's very encouraging. And you know what? And we pass protected to give him time, And there's some nice in the second quarter. There were some good pockets in there. He had space to step up in there and step into his throw. Wasn't crowded, and he delivered the ball. So again, that's very encouraging. It's frustrating because if you get a running game with what the throwing game is, you're going to be able to kind of dictate on some things. So anyway, I was pleased with what we got done in the throwing game. Hopefully, we can find some ways to get some yards on the ground too.
Coach, I know it's a bit of a loaded question, but you start fast against North Texas, don't finish that game well. You start off slow against East Carolina, then you kind of start to mount a little bit of a comeback, cut it to 2 scores later in the game. What's the emphasis on just making sure you start fast and finish fast?
Okay, all right, buddy. If I knew that, I'd flown somewhere today, play golf, and flown back. I'd be a bajillionaire. But you got to. I challenged the team on Sunday. You got to dive into the mental piece of it. And what is it? Because it's not because of their lack of effort on the field and practice. How we practice. They've been spirited, and especially with what they've gone through. The staff has been relentless on hold them on the team standards that we have and not backing off on any of that. And the guys have accepted it. With the things I just mentioned, and the seniors and what they're going through. So I challenged them on the mental piece. How do we mentally prepare? Coming off open week, mental preparation. Do we use the bus time the right way? I am searching to try to figure that out. Hopefully, again, we're going through year one, and everything's new. It's the first bus trip for everybody, for the staff, and first bus trip for this team. We've been out of town, but it's been on an airplane. And every time you do something, it's the first time, and I'm hoping that we can piece together from past experiences from South Florida to Army to this one, and we end up with two road games, and I want to make some progress. So when we get into the off season, we've made some progress in the question that you just asked me.
As a quick follow-up, just looking at UTSA, I looked through some of their box scores. It's been a roller coaster season for them. Lost to a lot of teams they probably were favored against, and then got blown out by some other teams. Teams that started fast against them, they weren't able to recover. So how important is it to make sure you have a start like you did against North Texas to make them shaky early?
Yeah. I just from what I've read in my notes, and I haven't studied the box scores as far as the early part of that. I do know that I thought they had a chance to beat A&M, or they were certainly in the ball game, and Texas A&M's probably got to be the best team in the country right now. If you just look at who they played and their scores, they're they should be number one. I mean they won road games. They played in the SEC, and UTSA was in the game versus arguably the best team in the country. If their quarterback gets hot, you know, he was hotter than a firecracker versus Tulane, you know. So I think that, um, you know, just from my standpoint with our team, um, we had a chance to start fast and Army. We had opened the game up and right down the field we went. You know, and we got a turnover. But then one bad thing happened and we couldn't overcome it. Couldn't jump start it. And I think that if we're at home in front of our crowd and our guys will have the energy, if we can just have a couple of good things happen, hopefully it'll snowball for us. And then I can't speak to if it's going to put pressure on them. That's not my job. I just had to worry about the Niners. And I just know that if we can get a couple things positive and for us and early in the game, hopefully it'll build some momentum for us.
Coach, talking about this being the last home game, what are you hoping to see from your team as you leave that last in-person impression on Niner Nation?
Yeah. Again, part of my message also at the hotel, was 19 days left, 20 days left, and obviously now we're under 20 days. I said, but how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be viewed? With what we're going through, and our football team has showed tremendous character and not splintering, and the ability to show some grit and continue to play hard. So I think this football team is going to continue to do those things and make our fan base proud of how they play, and hopefully that equates to some good execution on the football piece of it.
Coach, I want to go back to what you said about the offensive line and the pass protection in particular. In a game like that, where that defensive line was doing a nice job against the run, you're in a situation where it's kind of predictable that you're going to throw the football. An offensive line that's been through what they've been through this season, sort of a twofold question. How does it make you feel as a coach and as a staff to see that they were able to sort of play well in that spot and the progression of the season? And then are there any particular guys that just, I don't want to say surprised you with how well they played, but sort of stood out when you look back at the grades from that group? Because that's a defensive front that gets after people. But that group, I thought, was really solid in the pass game in terms of the offensive line.
Yeah, I appreciate you and the detail on that question, because that's how I viewed it. Obviously, Coach Rudolph and Coach Fitch have done a really good job on, to really on the game plan piece of this, because we know that it's going to be tough to run the ball. Not a lot of people have run the ball on them. They haven't, and we mixed some protection up. We did some, obviously, the play action. And we have our 6-man stuff, but we did some 7-man to help the tackles. We did a couple of 5-mans. We spin it out. Try to change the trajectory, the launch point of the quarterback a few times to try to help. But the guys again continue to fight, and I hope that when they can see that, hey, we're seeing some positive things here. We can just get some running game going, and I don't really concern myself with just a balance on numbers, but just the, you gotta turn around and hand that thing off so the quarterback can get a break, So I appreciate the question, and we certainly take the positive, and that would be a big positive for us.
Coach, you guys are closing in on a month now since the change at athletic director with Mike Hill. What's it been like with Jesh Humphrey as the interim, and kind of how have things maybe calmed down since last month?
Yeah, obviously, I haven't didn't realize it had been a month. We've been going so with the season and everything. But again, we are from my side of the desk, uh, um, making plans for what we got to do in the off season. And to be honest with you, it's with December being dead, first time in my career, and so I've had multiple staff meetings on how to handle it, you know, and it's one of the rare times I haven't been in the postseason in 38 years. Whether it's playoffs or bowl games, you know, and it's dead. So you know we're gonna do things that we do normally in February. We're gonna do in December. That's gonna free up our February to maybe to do some different things with our team. You know, with one window, your team's gonna be here in February. Nobody else can go anywhere. You know, and so to your question, you know, I've been so entrenched in the dialogue and decisions that we're making. Just on those few things, you know, I haven't really given it much thought. Now, I have obviously been talking with Josh, and you know, on some plans, and we got some events, things coming up that I'm very, very excited about. You know, you've asked me before, Hunter, on resources and things like that, and we have some momentum going that I'm very, very excited about. And this is not the time to get into it. You know, we got a big game coming up, but Chancellor Gaber and Jesh want to make sure that we have what we need to be successful moving forward. And I could not be more excited what that looks like. I really appreciate the question.
One more from me. You mentioned it's been a while since you weren't playing postseason football. I'm curious, have you kept up with some of the folks from Ohio and kind of continue those relationships even now?
I certainly have. You know, I mean, some of my best friends are there, and I'm very excited for them. And they're doing. You know, it's November, and I always tell them, you remember for the games in November. You know, and I'm tickled to death. You know, I've texted some of the players. You know, and they won Player of the Week or whatever. You know, Parker and CA and a couple of the guys, and I shoot Coach Smith a text every so often, and you know, the Albans have a vacation home in Athens still, and my neighbor. I mean, we call it our vacation home, but it's the house that we lived in for 20 years. But our neighbors is John Hauser, defense coordinator, lives right next door to me. You know, he's got 4 kids, and so I certainly do follow when I can. You know, I think they play this week in action, but we're probably working. I plan on going to the Hornets Nest tonight, and so supporting Coach Fern. I don't know if they play tonight, but I won't get to watch much of it. But I certainly follow.
Coach, first and foremost, if they send me to Athens to do a game, I might call you for a place to stay.
I got a vacation home.
Let me ask you about Coach Traylor and UTSA. What his journey a little bit different than yours, but what do you know about his journey, and then the way that sort of the personality of his journey trends into that football team?
Yeah, I think again I got a chance to just talk with him at the spring meetings. He's on a couple committees with Coach Bull, as I am too. We're not the same committees, but I think he's been there maybe 7 years maybe, and he's done some 6 years. Done some great things there, and I'm looking forward to visiting with him. You know, in the game. We have spoken on the phone 2 or 3 times after our head coaches meetings. You know, on a couple topics, and he's been great. Hey, I voiced on this last one about the window, January 2nd through the 16th, and raised my hand basically with all the head coaches. Who's got an answer for, getting kids enrolled officially, all that stuff. And he reached out to me and shared some things, which I really appreciate. So he's one of the good guys in the profession, does it the right way. I think, to your point, his team, takes on his personality, and it's a tough mindset. And I know he's frustrated with some things right now, as we all are, And so I certainly appreciate his passion and he wants to do it the right way.
For both of you guys, been a wild season. You guys have been here for years. I'm curious. You got your last home game coming this Saturday. What does that mean to both of you?
I'll go first. Oh, we were just talking about outside, kind of the memories we were going through. This is somehow his first press conference. I didn't know how, but he was a little nervous. I don't know. I'm kind of exposing him right now, but he's kind of nervous. But it's a cool experience to be able to have these because we get to represent Charlotte, and we do love Charlotte. Obviously, we wouldn't stay here if we didn't. But we love this place. We love playing at JRS. I wrote that on my mirror this morning, like last game at JRS. So I don't think I'll be too emotional too. I want to win our last game, so that's really the priority. That's all I got my mind on, just winning the game, nothing else.
Just to piggyback off what Sean said, I think winning the game is most important. Obviously, playing this last home game in our stadium is very special to me. Being that we both been here for some time and it's come to the last one, it happened, just a snap of the finger. So I think we should go out with a bang with this one.
Took some time for you this year, but got into the end zone Saturday. I didn't get to talk to you after the game. I'm just curious. Obviously, I know you would have wanted it in a win, but talk about that performance.
Was the wedding good?
Had a good time.
Okay, good. It was an awesome experience. My parents were there. Basically, everyone. It's an ECU week, so you want to be able to have a touchdown against somebody. You want to be able. I would rather be 3-0 and have 0 catches, but it was a cool experience. I got to hang out with my parents on the field after the game. I guess not a lot of teams can. They were on the field, so I got to hang out with them and kind of talk with my little brother. Just kind of hang out with them. So it was awesome. Other than the loss, but it was good.
I know it's your first press conference, you're nervous, but I'm sure you're a little more nervous. You just became a father. Talk about that and the stress of that and how that's been playing out this season.
Oh, no stress at all. Becoming a father was the greatest thing that's happened to me. Yeah, my daughter, she doesn't care about wins or losses. So, just seeing her smile and being able to just change her diaper and show her love and affection, that's been a major boost. She's only 3 weeks into her life, so I'm excited for what the future holds for both of us.
For both players, I know Hunter kind of alluded to it, talking about y'all's journey here and being here for a while. What are some of the highlights of each of your journeys here as a Charlotte 49er? And you've seen a lot of football here in Charlotte. Just what are some of the best memories you have?
I just the people I've met on the way, like Panda, ask you. I can't even pronounce it. I should probably know how to pronounce it, but talked to him after the game, took some pictures. It's like you can't have that experience without just being here at Charlotte, just with a teammate for that long. Just all the teammates I've had, just all the memories you've made. I can't say just a single one. I'm just thankful for all of them. Just at JRS, so I'm thankful for it.
Just games like beating Duke. I wasn't able to play in that game, but that atmosphere was one of the coolest things because it was kind of my first experience being at Charlotte. It was like my first major event. To see them boys go out there and beat Duke was big and very special. But anytime I get to put my gear on and go out to battle with my brothers that's always a memory within itself.
For both of you, this is a question I normally ask in one-on-one situations, but what does it mean to you guys to be a 49er?
Yeah. It just means a lot just being just from here. For the 2 years previous, I was worried about leaving here without just kind of memories that I do have now. Just out in the city of Charlotte, and I see a Charlotte logo, UNC Charlotte. I don't want to have a bad memory or I remember when I didn't do anything there. I was just a practice guy. Now I have a bunch of great memories. I can have pride wearing the Charlotte logo, no matter the record. I still have pride in our school, but I'm still gonna have pride in our school, of course, and I'm just excited where we're gonna go after.
Yeah, basically, what a 49er to me is not only representing my teammates, but also representing my community. I think that's a big part of it. Being the standard on campus here, as football players, I consider us the leaders of campus, and we have to be the example everywhere we go. And the gold standard is I bleed that, so that's what it means to me.
Kind of a big picture question for both of you. You've been through Healy, Biff, and now Tim. Obviously, rough first year under the Tim Alvin era, but talk about what you guys see under him moving forward for this program.
I see a lot of good things. We're trending in the right direction every week. I don't see anybody turning the cheek. Nobody's biting the cheese, So I think we're all staying together, and that's the biggest thing is we all got to stay together in this. We got to face the storm. That's been our motto on defense. He can tell you a little bit about the offense, but we just got to stay together. That's all it is.
I think he's done a great job of keeping the culture strong. I think there's a lot of opportunities we could have frayed and just kind of go our other direction, just kind of screw it, just do whatever I want to do. But he's kept everyone together. We still want to win. We still want to finish strong. And there was a meeting. He wanted everyone to go hard for the seniors, not even us to go hard, just everyone for the seniors. So he's definitely putting a great culture into here.
And to the game Saturday, UTSA coming to town. For each of you, respective sides of the ball, what do you need to do to win this game Saturday?
Stop the run.
Touchdowns.
First, Jalar, thank you for helping us out with the photos of the baby. We didn't get to it in the game on Saturday. I got a feeling they might get to it. We might get to it this week. So thank you, but I apologize at the same time.
No problem.
Let me ask both of you guys from this standpoint. You go through a game like last week. The first quarter is what it was. Then you look at the rest of that football game. Then you go back and look at the tape and see what occurred or did not occur. From both of you, what did the last 2.5 to 3 quarters really tell you about not only yourselves but your teammates as a football team?
We know we can do it. We just got to start fast. I mean, it's just simple. It's 4 quarters of football. You can't be good for 3 or 2. You gotta be in the game and be locked in for 4 quarters. So I think that just starting strong was our downfall of that game. So
Definitely starting strong. I think the good thing about the ECU game was that we saw how well we can battle back, and we're thinking, what if we start strong in the first quarter? We don't have to be down 28-0 and have to battle back the whole game. We still cut it back to a 2-possession game, I think. But just talking about if we don't have those 10, 15 plays of just small mistakes, we can make some clean football and start winning games.
And then for both of you, Jalar, I'll start with you. You're one of the older guys, obviously, in that defensive line room. Been through a lot of adversity this year with some injuries and different things. And then Sean, obviously you, one of the older guys in the receiver room. From a leadership standpoint, how have you tried to kind of continue to, it's not even about coaching up, but like just the young guys of helping them understand, like, just stay with the process. Don't worry about the result until it's time to worry about the result.
Hey, just don't always think you have the answer. Sometimes you just got to listen. Sometimes you have to it's not going to go your way every time. Adversity is going to strike, and we know that. We talk about that every game. And I think leading by example is the best way I can do it. Within the drills and practice, and just how I carry myself on and off the field. Those young guys, they gravitate towards me, and they consider me a leader. But I just consider myself one of them. I just want to be the best example for those young guys. So I think just leading by example and trying to become more vocal this year has been a big step up for me. So
I just want to teach the young kids. I've been through this a lot. No bowl game early in the season. You can kind of just throw everything away. Just I don't care what I do. But you still got film to put on tape. You got to put good stuff on film. So me and Jalar, we love days like today. We get to play football today. It was a cold day. You don't get a lot of those. I want to say I wish it was a snow day, but then it would happen. I wouldn't want a snow day. But these are experiences that you would love to have. So I'm going to keep collecting. I forgot who I told on the sideline, but I think some people were like, I want to get the rock, get on the field or do something. And I was like, try. I was in those shoes. There's a reason I'm a 7th-year senior. You got to be patient. Just take it one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. And just keep stacking brick by brick, just one day at a time. Thank you, guys.